Let's get back to the basics. This is for the traditionalists that don't want to follow the steps of a cold sear or reverse sear. They just want to sear the meat over incredibly high heat. We're showing you how to do it the perfect way. Steak, salt, heat, simple. Now the key when you're cooking a steak just right in a hot blasting pan or a hot blasting grill is that in order for you to get that beautiful golden brown exterior, you need the steak to be super, super, super dry. In a perfect world, you would have dry brined this, right? You would have salted it ahead of time because that salt actually draws some of the moisture out, brings it back into the meat, but it does dry a little bit of the exterior out so that that gives you a better sear. But first, you gotta get it super, super, super dry, right? That is the key here. And this applies to fish, this applies to chicken, this applies to all protein. Actually, it even applies to vegetables if you're trying to get a nice, beautiful brown on a sauteed vegetable dish. So you've gotta get this dry. Like just keep pressing it and keep drying it. Just drying. Okay, now from here, right? If you're gonna do it this way, right? And you haven't dry brined it, then you're gonna wanna salt it right before you cook it, because you don't want that salt drawing the moisture out to the surface. In the dry brine, it does draw it to the surface. However, it goes back inside the meat, and that's the key success to the dry brine. Now I'm gonna throw my carbon steel pan on. I'm gonna turn it on high heat. The second piece of this is that you don't wanna use a ton of fat. People overuse their fat, and they shallow fry the meat, or they almost deep fry the meat. That creates a different flavor, right? Because we want that beautiful brown exterior to also create a fond on the pan. You wanna get that beautiful sear on there. So with a seasoned pan, whether it's carbon steel or cast iron, the key is to get your pan super, super, super hot and then add your oil. And I'm actually gonna break a cardinal rule here. Because my pan is so well seasoned, I'm gonna cook this in a little bit of olive oil, because science has changed over the years that has proven that when you're cooking in olive oil, you can actually take it up to about 400 plus degrees and it doesn't break it down totally. I'm not using the olive oil for the flavor, but I actually like cooking in olive oil because it's not a seed oil and it also has a little bit more of a healthier property to it. So I got the pan blasting right now. We're gonna take this over to the stove and we're just gonna get this steak searing. So the way that I know my pan is hot when it's a carbon steel or a cast iron pan is it actually starts to smoke a little bit because there is already fat in the pan, within the pores of the pan. So now I'm just gonna hit this with a small touch of olive oil and then it runs like water. You can see the way in which the oil runs and that's how I know it's at the right rate. So I'm just gonna lay it in here, okay? Now this is the key. You don't touch it at this point. You do not touch the meat. The more you move the meat, even if it's just one time to lift it and touch it, you're letting cold air in there. You're bringing the temperature of the pan down. So you gotta, I wanna say set it and forget it, but you gotta set it down and then forget about it, right? And if anything, you can push it a little bit, right? Because you wanna make sure that all that surface area is getting browned. So we've been searing this on one side for probably 2.5, 3 minutes. I can tell that it's got a beautiful brown on there because I can start to see some of the fat browning on the side. So now I'm gonna flip it, right? And I'm gonna press it down. Now I missed some of this area, so we are gonna flip it one more time. I know I've gotta go with the double flip. Like I don't go with the one flip wonder. So I'm gonna get the exterior done, and then by the time we flip it again, we're gonna be able to finish searing that beautiful round eye of the ribeye. We've gone about 90 seconds on the second side. I'm gonna flip it again, and we're gonna go about 1.5 minutes again on this side. And the goal here is that now we're getting a deeper sear on the inside of that ribeye, because it's always gonna cook from the outside in, especially with the way heat transfers. Remember, we're blasting this at full heat right now, okay? This is the request for those people who are purists. So we're blasting this at full heat to show you the timing, the look, the feel. Haven't played with the heat at all, haven't played with the meat, just flip and go, flip and go. So we've gone about 90 seconds. Now I'm going in for my third flip right now. There we go. See, at least we know we're going high heat. If you did a cold sear, this wouldn't have happened. Now I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna let it rest on a plate. We'll take this over to the cutting board and we'll let it sit. As this steak is sitting, it's kind of pooling up some of the juices on top. I never like to lose that. So what I like to do is I'll get in there right away. I'll just take a touch of butter here and I put it on the steak. The fats in the butter bring out a lot of the flavors of the meat. And then when I throw some fresh herbs in there, I'm gonna put some chives in here. That's going to act to almost as an aromatic, right? And then the hot meat is gonna release some of the oils and the flavor from the herbs. You can use thyme, rosemary, sage, marjoram, fresh chives, whatever you wanna use. Parsley. I like the chives, as you know. I think it's mildly vegetal. Okay, and I'm just gonna sprinkle it all over while it rests. That's not all. What we're actually gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to make a really quick, I call it kind of like a cowboy rib sauce. Maybe people are gonna get mad. Maybe it's just more like a cowboy butter sauce. I'm gonna take the rest of my butter. This is not a compound butter. This is more of just like a dipping sauce or a dipping butter. And I make this in bigger batches because I'm gonna use it on everything. I got like a ½ pound of butter here. And I'm going to take some garlic. I'm gonna chop some garlic up and throw that in there. We'll go heavy on this garlic, okay? Just gonna crush these, crush the garlic, crush it, get it going. Get a nice little rough chop on this. So the key when you're chopping herbs, garlic, etc., is you wanna hold the handle of the knife and then put your hand on the top to kind of keep it in place, and then just let the knife roll with the cut, right? Then scrape it back in. Okay, I'm gonna dump that all right in there. I'm just gonna pick some of this thyme right into the sauce. If you get some stem in there, no biggie, right? This is gonna be all the flavor. I'll chop some of this rosemary. Then I've got a little bit of, this is my own personal, I like these diced hatch green chilies. You can use pimento, you can use just red bell pepper, whatever you want. I'm gonna do a little hatch chili in there. We'll throw some rice vinegar in as well for flavor. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw this onto the stove, and I'm just gonna toast it until the butter fully melts and the garlic starts to toast. That's all we do. It's gonna take about 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes. All right, so this house smells unbelievable. The butter toasting, the garlic, a little bit of that sweet heat from the chili, and then obviously the fresh herbs. Even if you don't wanna eat this with steak or anything else, just cook it at home, and when people walk into your house, they're gonna think that you're a chef. So this is what I use for perfume. You know, little known fact, Lauren doesn't even know that I told anybody this story, but on our first date, I took a little garlic butter and fresh herbs and I put it behind my ears. And that's why she was so attracted to me, was because of the smell. It was kind of like that herbaceous, buttery smell. And that's how I got her. I got this butter now. The key is that you want it to simmer a little bit so that that garlic toasts, but not so much so that the garlic burns. So this was really like 2.5, 3 minutes. Just right on high heat, let the butter melt, let the butter solids toast just a touch, and that's it. So now, but we've got all of our steak juices. So I'm gonna mix my steak juices into this cowboy butter or whatever you wanna call it, all right? So just mix that in there. That's beautiful. So it's this beautiful steak butter. When you slather your meat with the compound butter, sometimes that butter drips off into either the grill grates, or if you're doing it after you cook the steak, sometimes people don't take advantage of it. So now you just sop it up. This is, you dip bread in here. I mean, you can use this for anything, even great with vegetables, especially after you've dipped that meat in there or dripped that meat sauce in there. So here we go, right? Like this is it. We got our beautiful steak. To me, this lifter cut and this beautiful browning, like I would just take this where it's just nice and brown and just dip it right in there. Oh, look at that right there. That is it. Notice I didn't use any black pepper yet. I use my black pepper when I'm cooking fresh meat at the end. Oh, it's all jiggly. Look at that, right? We're just gonna dip it in there. Just dip it all the way through. Doesn't get any better. All in all, this is roughly 10 minutes. You can make both of them at the same time. I can't even control myself on this. I just want to double dip.